Hey guys, so the other day I watched Justice League, Zack Snyders Justice League, and I loved it. It's, I think one of the things with this film that kind of surprises me is everyone thought that it was going to be worse or not much better than Joss Whedon's version. And I just don't understand it. Like, it met my expectations of what I thought the film was going to be before Joss Whedon's Justice League came out. So finally seeing it, I was like, yes, I was right. The film was going to be this awesome. So yes, I'm just sort of confused why everyone's like, oh man, it was so good. It's like, of course it was going to be good. Like, why would you think otherwise? Like, if you liked Man of Steel and BVS, you were going to like this film. And although surprisingly, people who didn't like Man of Steel and didn't like BVS also liked this film, which I thought was quite interesting. But yeah, today I just want to talk about some of the things that what I thought of the film for those who are interested, and also some of the reviews, especially in New Zealand, on some New Zealand websites, were like just shitting on the film, which I thought was just like bizarre. Like, I saw one, it was like, the film is still bad. It's like, are you fucking kidding? Like, what film did you see? And you just like, oh man, I don't know, you look at the picture of the guy who did the review and you're like, oh, of course, whatever. Anyway, so there's so much to this film. I think firstly, 4 hours it felt perfect. Like, there was a lot of things where you're like, oh, okay, maybe this could be cut out, or maybe we don't need so much slow motion. But if this is the only film we get as a sequel to Batman vs Superman, like, there was so much content. Like, I'm happy if they never make another continuation of this franchise. Like, if they just stop here and reboot it, I'm like, cool, because like it was such it's such an awesome trilogy that it's quite satisfying. Like, you watch it and you're like, cool, if I never see this again, like, this film's still here, I can rewatch it, like, awesome. But I think they will continue it, like, fingers crossed. But yeah, anyway, so some of the things that I really enjoyed, the two standout characters in the film for me was the Flash, who I didn't mind. I think I loved him. I thought he was great. But Ezra Miller recently, a lot of his movies, it's like he's had no one tell him to tone things down. Whereas in this, I felt like he was toned down. He wasn't over the top. He had an awesome scene, which was my favorite scene in the film, which is the one where, spoiler alert, he goes back in time, and it looks like everyone's probably seen this film already who's watching this video, but it looks like he's like a god rebuilding the earth from every step that he takes, which I just thought looked amazing. And it was just a good arc for his character. He actually got he saved the day basically. And it was just really cool. I liked all this sort of the humor with him, like the bit at the start where he gets the sausage and then he feeds the dogs with it. I thought it was really, was quite funny. A lot of people thought that scene was really creepy. I didn't think it was creepy. I thought it was he was just admiring her, and I didn't think it was creepy. But yeah, some people thought it was really weird and like he was like feeling her up and stuff, which I just think's just not true at all. Yeah, he was competent. I had no problem with his running. Some people thought his running was weird. I thought it looked cool. It looked unique. And then of course we've got Cyborg, who benefited the most from the actual version of the film. He was just I just wanted to see a Cyborg movie. He was a little bit brooding and a bit of a serious guy, but I just thought, he's had his dick blown off. Like, of course he's going to be pissed off. And yeah, I don't know. It was just really cool. Like his story with like his dad and his mum and stuff. Like, it was quite tragic, but then at the end of the day, he was so important as a character in this film. And I think he just looks cool. He seems like a cool guy in real life. He looks the part. I thought the suit his body looks really cool with all the alien sort of design to it. He was actually powerful. Like, you're like, oh, I get why he's in the Justice League now. Whereas in the Joss Whedon version, he was just like a robot man. You didn't get his actual power. I really like Wonder Woman. She was actually cool as shit. Like, when she kills all those guys in the bank robbery, I thought that was awesome. And I did find her theme song kind of funny, how they added that like chanting, what do you call it, lamentation chanting thing. Like, I felt like they did kind of overuse that quite a few times, where like anytime she comes on the screen, like that chanting stuff starts playing, which was kind of funny. But yeah, I don't know, it was just really cool. Like, I like how she just straight up killed those guys. Some people were like, maybe, you know, she's killing people in front of kids, but I mean, they were going to kill kids, so fuck them. What else? Oh, I really like the what's it called? The Amazons. Watching that, I was like, oh, I wish Zack Snyder I hope Zack Snyder gets to make a Wonder Woman film with the Amazons in, because that was just straight up like 300, which I loved 300 back in the day. I haven't actually watched it in years, but it was so cool seeing like a very 300 style Amazon setting, which was just, yeah, really cool. And it made a lot of sense, because I guess the Spartans are a lot like Amazons in a way. And I also thought that scene with the what's it called, when they smash the logs and the what's it called, the gates come down, the big stone gates, and block everyone in the temple, so they die basically. I thought it was such a cool scene. I don't know why they got rid of it. And speaking of which, Steppenwolf, his whole thing was just so much better. Like, his design, which we did see his design in Batman vs Superman, when Lex Luthor's talking in the Kryptonian ship. There's a thing of Steppenwolf. That is the design in this film. Obviously, everyone's seen it, and it's so good. Like, I have no idea why they changed the design to a big dude with a funny helmet. And just like his spiky armor, he's got all those fingers, like six or seven fingers on each hand. He just looked powerful, like when he flips the Amazon's horses. Just so cool. And his axe looked awesome too. It actually looked like the one that Nicolas Cage uses in Mandy. If you've seen Mandy, it's a pretty similar looking axe. Just a weird coincidence there. What else? Oh, there's just so much to digest. I just can't wait to watch it again. There was a few things though that I was a little disappointed in, just because I thought that the bigger runtime would change a few things. So one of the things that I was a little bit disappointed in was Superman. So he actually was probably in it the same amount of time as he was in the 2017 version, which was, I mean, obviously that every scene that he was in was better because he didn't have that weird CGI face and he wasn't being all cheesy. He was quite campy in the Joss Whedon version. In this, he's exactly the same character as he was in BVS and Man of Steel, which I thought was great. Fun. Also, I did find it funny that because I was so disappointed that he wasn't wearing the black suit in the Justice League 2017, and even though he's in it now, it wasn't as cool as I thought it would be. It didn't. It still looks cool, but I don't know. It was kind of like, oh yeah, he's in it, cool. But yeah, he just straight up destroys Steppenwolf, which actually was kind of funny because I felt bad for Steppenwolf because they'd done such a good job of making him sympathetic in a way. Like, he was a prick and he did kill lots of people, but he had a reason for doing it. Maybe not a good one, but you sort of felt like, oh shit. And also his design I think that was part of the fault, was his design, because he's got this, he's almost got a cute face to him. He's got soft eyes. They don't look like evil eyes. There's a softness to his face, which is kind of funny. I don't know if that was intentional. I feel like it probably wasn't. Although once he takes off his helmet and he's got that, his eyes glow when he's fighting Superman, he looks a little bit more, serious. But yeah, what else? Also, actually, another thing that was kind of disappointing was the history lesson from Wonder Woman, where they're talking about the when Darkseid came to Earth the first time and he got beaten by all the armies of men combined. I thought that he just didn't do a lot. I was kind of expecting him to be really cool, and then he just got his ass kicked by Ares. He got the axe in the side of his neck, and he didn't really do a lot. Which was, it was a cool scene, but at the same time, it's like, he killed a Green Lantern, and that was about it. But he does look cool. I thought he looked awesome. He's got like a big meaty head, and he just looks just solid as. But it was kind of cool seeing the old gods, like Zeus looked jacked. Ares still looks kind of dumb, but it is what it is. But yeah, that was just a better, more fleshed out scene. And also, I did like the what was it called? There was those 3, I don't know, wizards, I guess, or witches that had the mother boxes. I thought that was quite cool. I thought the mother box thing was really well done. But again, it was still funny, though, the fact that the Atlanteans put the mother box underwater where it was really hard to get to. The Amazons made a metal box around it and hit it and put it in this temple that had these fail safes if someone came there, and the men just dunk it in like a couple of feet deep hole in the forest somewhere. And then later it's in the I think it's in Cyborg's cupboard. Like, he just hides it away. Like, there's no protection. It's just like, what the fuck? But that's quite, yeah, I don't know. What else? Yeah. I was also a little bit disappointed with Batman. He had a lot of cool scenes, like as in he was a much better character than the shitty version they had in the original, in the 2017 version, but he didn't get a scene as cool as the one in Batman vs Superman, which I was a little bit disappointed. I was like, oh, come on, like, give him some cool scene. Like, he did actually kick ass in this, and he had I suppose the scene in the Batmobile was kind of cool, but it wasn't on that same level. Although the tactical suit actually made sense in this film, whereas in the other one it was like, oh, he just changed his costume. Whereas in this you're like, oh, okay, it makes sense because he's going into the final battle. He needs more armor, and he had that, like, what was it called? That energy absorbing shit on his forearms, which actually was kind of cool. The scene with where the Justice League fights Superman, that was better than the original. When I say original, I mean the 2017. It's again not the original, but you know what I mean. It just felt fleshed out. There was no stupid jokes with what did the Flash say? Oh, when he referenced Pet Sematary. That's the thing that I'm glad they got rid of. All the stupid cultural references that Joss Whedon likes to put in everything. Like, when he said talks about Pet Sematary, and then there was some other stuff. All of that's gone. That's one of the things I liked, is they play the film completely serious. There's no campiness. There's no tongue-in-cheek, winks to the audience, and there's no humor that undercuts serious scenes like in the Marvel films. I don't want to compare it too much to Marvel, but might be a serious scene, and then straight away someone has to make a joke, and it just loses all its emotional impact. Whereas in this, there's none of that, which is great. Like, you actually get a sad moment. Like it'd be like if when Victor's dad goes and sees him in the hospital, and he's like missing his leg, his eyes all fucked up, like he's in a coma, and then he turns to the nurse and makes a joke about it. Like, it would lose all its its impact. Another thing is what else? Oh shit. Screensaver came on. Just the whole, everything just had room to breathe. You know, there's 4 hours. Every scene, it didn't feel like anything was rushed. Everything could like fully, simmer and let you actually enjoy the film instead of like rushing it. Like, we've got to get to the end. Like, to an extent, certain scenes went on too long. Like the weird Aquaman one where that chick's is singing a song and then she sniffs his sweater. Thought that was so weird. It was kind of like, it's kind of funny though. Like, but it wasn't meant to be funny, but it was funny. And also, actually, that makes me think of the musical choices. There was a lot of like Zack Snyder. A lot of his movies almost feel like extended music videos because he's got such a strong sounds. I guess, what would you call it? Like a strong soundscape to his films. They have a music video quality, especially Watchmen. That almost feels like a series of music videos to popular music. But this one had some weird choices in music. Like the scene that I was actually really looking forward to was the scene where Aquaman, he's drinking whiskey and he walks onto that wharf and he takes his shirt off and he sculls the thing and all the water's smashing up onto him. But it was kind of undercut by the fact they had this really odd choice of music that felt completely wrong for the scene, and I don't know. It was kind of off-putting. But yeah, I don't know. If you've seen Zack Snyder's films, you know what he does. Kind of like Quentin Tarantino, but Quentin Tarantino picks better music, in my opinion. What else? One of the things I really liked, and I don't know why people are shitting on this, but the Joker, at the end of the film, there's a nightmare sequence with Batman and Joker talking to each other. And I just thought that was so, the dialogue was a little bit funny, not in a good way necessarily, but, and it was shot a bit weird. It was a little bit out of focus and kind of almost stylized, but I still thought it was awesome. And I want to see that film. I want to see Jared Leto and Ben Affleck on screen for a whole movie instead of just like a little 5-minute scene at the end. And also Deathstroke, I want to see him in there, but I just thought Jared Leto was so good. He looks a little bit more like Heath Ledger, but at the same time he also looks a lot more like Marilyn Manson, which isn't a bad thing. I think he looks a lot more like Marilyn Manson than Heath Ledger. Which is a good, I mean, that's not a bad choice. Like, Marilyn Manson's creepy. But I think Jared Leto can pull it off, and I don't get the people who whinge and say, oh, he's not good. Like, just let the guy have his moment in a film, and, he's only had these little bits in Suicide Squad and in this. Like, he needs his own film so you can see how good he is. Because the guy's won an Oscar. Like, he's a really good actor. Like, yeah. What else? Yeah, I think just in general, everything played out better. Like, the action was more visceral. Like, it flowed better. Like, especially the last action scene. It had a really nice rhythm to it. You understood what they were building up to, as opposed to in the other one where you're just like, you weren't quite sure what was going on. As well as it benefited a lot from the color grading. I found like the suits in these films are meant to look, they've been designed to look a certain way when they're color graded in that style that Zack Snyder uses, that kind of desaturated look. Whereas when they were in the Joss Whedon version, when they were brightened up, they looked kind of like cosplay. They just didn't look right. I think that they definitely need those muted colors, and yeah, especially Superman's suit looked really odd in the Joss Whedon one because you could see all the highlights on the suit, which made it look kind of cheap and tacky. Whereas in this, like when all the colors are muted, those highlights are there they just work. I can't explain exactly what I'm trying to say, but they just work. It's like how you never, like in monster films, when you show the monster in like daylight, it looks like a dude in a costume. That's why you have all the shadow and stuff. Like it loses its impact when it's like fully bright and yeah. Alfred was in it. He had a lot to say. I thought his scenes were really good. I'm trying to think what else. Aquaman. I thought his scenes were really good as well. He was less of a surfer bro in this. He was more serious. I think everyone was more serious, which I enjoyed. But yeah, I also liked Amber Heard pisses me off, but I actually didn't mind her in this film, and she was pretty powerful. Like she could have possibly have killed Steppenwolf, which I thought was really cool. And also liked Willem Dafoe. I liked him in Aquaman, but I like him more in this because he didn't have that stupid man bun. He actually had long. He looked cool. He looked like Aquaman. He had long hair. He had that awesome armor. And I also like the Atlanteans better in this than Aquaman because they had cool armor. I think they suit British accents. I don't know why. It seems more like Lord of the Rings or something with British accents. Whereas with American accents, it feels a little bit too contemporary. But yeah, and also I like the fact that when they're underwater, they talk like dolphins. So which kind of makes sense. It was kind of, I mean the whole thing doesn't really make sense, but as far as underwater goes, that sort of thing makes sense because and oh man, I think I'm running out of stuff to say. I don't even know if anyone's still listening at this point. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is exactly the sort of film that I thought we were getting back in 2017. So, like I said, I'm not surprised at all that the film is this good. I'm not it's just that it's exactly what I wanted back in 2017, and we got it in 2021. So, can't really complain. And it's awesome that people are enjoying it. I'm kind of surprised because a lot of people love shitting on these films, and it's kind of cool that people are loving it. So that means that we might actually get a sequel. So yeah. Anyway, I better wrap it up. My voice is getting a bit tired, but thanks for watching. Don't forget, comment below. Tell me what you think. Did you think Steppenwolf was cute? He was. And yeah, tell me if I'm wrong. Cool. And don't forget, actually like and subscribe this video as well because it's just a good thing to do. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.